All right, welcome to Monday, March 21st. Let's go ahead and read Judges, chapters 10 through 12. Good to see you this morning. As I was studying up a little bit for chapter 11, I came across some old notes I'd want to share with you real quick. You know, Judges is an interesting book. It's full of violence, just some pretty weird stuff. Chapter 11 is going to have some of that. Just a couple observations. Judges don't really judge as you and I think judge. Judges are military leaders, except for Samson, who fights alone. The rest of them are heads of armies. It's also interesting that the political structure of Judges, I'm sure you noticed this so far, is not highly centralized like it would have been under a king or under Moses or under Joshua. And I should have made this observation a little bit more clear. The book of Judges bridges the gap between Joshua and Samuel, and then Samuel being kind of the last judge, but also being a prophet, a seer going forward. It also sets the stage for the book of Ruth. But let's go ahead and hit chapter 10. Now, I'm going to post up this, and why don't I just kind of move to the side? We can leave that up there for most of the video. Because some of these, what we're going to find here, like Tola, here's the seventh judge. 2 verses, all we know about him, 23 years. Jair, 3 verses, 22 years. But see, these judges aren't really delivering from anybody. They're just a continuation of the judges from Gideon and Abimelech. And so now here's the next 2. And you can see that on this picture right here. Ask Holtz, if you look back in Judges chapter 5 verse 10, are just really is a way that people knew that you were wealthy, was to have mules. So there's 18 years of serving the Philistines and the Amorites. Am I right? They go to God. God says no, but then they relent, as you see here. Chapter 11. Don't like it. Here we go. Now we have here Jephthah's dumb vow. But notice here that God is using pretty normal guys. Gideon was the least of his family and from one of the smaller and one of the least of the tribes. Here we find Jephthah, who is a rejected half-brother, cast out and then asked to be brought back. And Jephthah delivers Israel. Let's also point out here that Jephthah was mentioned in the Hall of Faith in Hebrews chapter 11. And I'll say again, still don't like the ending. Don't make a vow to God you can't keep, and keep the vows you make. You know, it's funny, I checked some commentaries and people are trying to explain this away. I don't think you can. You may read it and think that, Jephthah didn't sacrifice his daughter. I hope he didn't. I hope maybe he talked to God about it, but the Bible seems to indicate that he did. Like I said, don't like it. Just because it's in the Bible doesn't mean God called for it, right? Sometimes things are descriptive, not conscriptive. Sometimes the Bible just tells us what happened without telling us that we're supposed to do the same thing. One commentator points out that his daughter bewailed her virginity, not her death. And to see a lot of people trying to excuse it, it just really sounds to me like he did it. And I'm not comfortable with it. Don't like it, but it's there. Now chapter 12, it's kind of interesting. Ephraim comes out to chide now Jephthah, just like they did Gideon. Remember our key word back there? Chide. But it's a little bit more forceful this time. We're going to burn your house down. And again, this exercise of making videos for you, just reading 3 chapters a day, going slow, getting the details down. I've never noticed this before. Ephraim at Gideon. Ephraim now against Jephthah. Ephraim, as we go forward, we're going to find them being the seat of rebellion for the northern kingdom. And if you don't know what we mean by northern kingdom yet, you'll learn that when we get to, I believe, 2 Samuel. But many times the northern kingdom is just called Ephraim, symbolic of their rebellion. So Jephthah serves 6 years, and then you see there the next 3, Izban, Elon, and Abdon. And again, that's where this comes in handy. Seeing just because, the chart I showed you at the beginning basically shows you then the general idea of the cycles. but not specifically that there were 7 judges. Right, and man, I just want to point out, enjoyed being with you at church yesterday. Those of you who were there, if you're watching this from somewhere else, watch that one, The Danger of Unity. That interesting visitor that insulted a lot of people. It seems like it was her pastime, her challenge. How many people can I insult today? So have a great day. Looking forward to seeing you tomorrow.